Sandesh Khali, an obscure little village in West Bengal's North 24 Parganas, making national headlines. Who would have thought? But after simmering in the dark corners of the national media for days, it is finally, as you can see, a big national headline. It was my lead story today. The story is horrifying. Multiple women in the village have been alleging for months that local Trinamool Congress leaders have been orchestrating a campaign of rape, brutality, and abuse. The alleged kingpin of Sandesh Khali's reign of horror is Trinamool leader Sheikh Shahjahan, who incredibly has been absconding since January the 5th after the Enforcement Directorate separately began a crackdown against him. The traumatized women of Sandesh Khali were so enraged by lack of action, they did something that most would consider suicidal in rural Bengal. They marched against the ruling Trinamool strongmen. Armed with brooms and sticks, they attacked, vandalized and set fire to properties linked to Sheikh Shahjahan and his aides Shiva Prasad Hazra and Uttam Sardar. It took this dangerous and desperate measure for the story to spread beyond the tiny confines of Sandesh Khali, and even then it took 5 whole days until the national media took note, and I count myself in that. Viewer, all stories of rape that manage to make it to the news headlines like this one make it because someone made it political. India sees an average of 30,000 rapes reported each year, but only those that either involve prominent persons or are politically inflammable ever reach a wide audience. If the accused belongs to a certain party, the issue invariably becomes a national story, thanks to the rival party in that case. In Sandesh Khali, for instance, it is the BJP that has pounced on the issue with all hands. With the national spotlight finally on the Bengal village, there will hopefully now be a full and fair investigation into the terrible allegations of rape and torture. But this isn't about the politicization of the alleged horror in Sandesh Khali. This is about the hypocrisy that it once again reveals in our politicians. In this case, Bengal's ruling Trinamool Congress. Mamata Banerjee, who has in the past very rightly displayed her anger and righteous indignation over rape allegations, had to practically be goaded into a reaction this time. Mamata Banerjee, India's only current woman chief minister, had only the usual placeholder comments to make. None of that famous Durga avatar that she is so famous for on display. A leader who has made it a point of remarkable and admirable principle to deploy women leaders on the local and national stage, suddenly a shadow of her former well-known self, all because the rape-accused leaders are from her party. Only an investigation and courts will decide what really happened in Sandesh Khali and the truth of the allegations made. And remember, even a BJP leader has been arrested in this case. But it has already become a blot on Mamata's party, the ruling party, because of how much she has literally made women power her calling card her entire life. What separates Mamata from other parties? It is the fist-shaking Didi that constantly reminds her enemies and friends how she is the brave custodian of women's safety. It is for this reason why the fires of Sandesh Khali burn a little angrier than they would anywhere else. Let's be clear. No party is off the hook when it comes to initially being soft on rape accused in their ranks. Whether it is the BJP on Kuldeep Sengar and Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, or the Congress on Mewaram Jain or Babulal Nagar, all parties instinctively see issues like these as my rape versus your rape. Let me repeat, no exceptions. But Mamata Banerjee is still different because of the higher standard on women power that she constantly professes for herself and her party. In Sandesh Khali, the main accused, Sheikh Shahjahan, is amazingly still nowhere to be found. Think about that, viewer, for a moment. He's been absconding for over 40 days in Didi Raj. Mamata Banerjee, who never fails to revel in her public image as Durga, the angry, no-nonsense destroyer and protector, must know how Sandesh Khali seems to diminish her. In a country that has been infamous globally for the number of rapes it records each year, it's time for netas, parties and leaders to exorcise selective politics and response from women's safety. There must no longer be any my rape versus your rape.